Good day, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a little bit more of a mathematical kind of thing. You may also notice I have a new microphone finally arrived. So, I hope the audio quality is a little bit better. So, what we're doing today is nothing more than a mathematical approach, and we're going to go through all of the swing states. What does it take, for an example, in this case Virginia, to swing towards Trump, for an example. So now we have aggregated polling, Biden +2. Funny part about this, if you go to the decision desk, they have more polls than this, and it has Trump at a slight lead in the state of Virginia. I think it's really weird, but whatever. Right. So what do we see? Biden is basically polling at the lowest of the low in his particular category. What does it mean for us? Well, simply put, anyone who is hesitant about Biden is not calculated into this. They're probably going to go for him in the end of the day. So, still, I'm not saying Virginia is going to flip. I'm just going to show you what will it take for Virginia to flip. So, I have the election shuffler. This is 2020. Biden wins by about 460,000 votes, and if we go to the actual election page, that would be about the same, I think. Yeah, 10 percentage points. Quick math in my head. That would be 455,000. Slightly less than here. That's fine. Doesn't matter. So, what are we going to do? I'm going to simply look at the map based upon the current situation, but I am going to do one quick thing here, and I'm going to select every single county. And for example, Franklin doesn't want to participate. You're forced to. Virginia, the differential in turnout was 12%. From 2016 to 2020. So I'm going to do it as well right now. Now we have a margin of victory of 520,000 votes. That's just to take into account. The ballot access for Virginia, I think that ends in the August period. So we don't know what the ballot is actually going to look like. In the case of New York, we know. Because in New York, it's going to be a race between Trump, Biden, and Kennedy. Libertarians are not present in New York, neither are the Greens, neither is Cornel West. And the Constitution Party isn't there, and the Socialist Party isn't there, and all the other tiny parties aren't there. It's just Democrat, Republican, Kennedy. That's it. In the case of Texas, Cornel West isn't on there, and everyone else is. And in the case of North Carolina, I think all of them are present, as well as in the state of Utah. But I'm going to do a video later on with ballot access, so you can expect what the ballot is going to look like and how polling is going to look like and all that stuff. So, the way I'm doing this is by geographical units. So, the first one that I think is important, well, Eastern Shore is not so much. I'm doing these alphabetically, by the way. Eastern Shore is just these two, so Accomack and Northampton. Well, if you add these two together, so hang on, let's do multi-select. These two, Trump +3. If he wants to win this, well, of course he's got to win this region, but a +3 margin isn't necessarily going to swing anything, so we don't have to take that into account. The first one that we do have to take into account is the Greater Richmond area. So, what is that? That is New Kent. That is Charles City. Prince George, Dinwiddie, Amalia, Powhatan, Goochland, Hanover. Then we have Henrico, Richmond City, Chesterfield. We have Prince George, but it's a Hopewell here. We have Colonial Heights. We have Petersburg. And Sussex. This is the Richmond area. And I'm going to check really quickly on this right side, because I have the map for all those geographical regions. Sorry, I'm missing one. King William. So this is a Biden +14 territory. if Trump wants to win the state of Virginia, he's got to do better in this particular region, obviously. So let's say we move this 5 points towards Trump. So now it's a Biden plus 10 region. Let's see if we can also show shift. So we have this particular region. This all shifts towards Trump, right? I don't think any county actually flips. We can check really quickly. No. It's not a single county that flips. Chesterfield is on the brink of flipping, but that's not yet at the moment. So what we have now, Biden plus 9.8, so it's about a 10-point victory. Next one is the Hampton Roads. Multi-select, which would be Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Suffolk, Isle of Wight, Franklin. What? I want that tiny little speck, whatever. So as you can see, the map is kind of buggy in this particular regard, and that's because Virginia has an unincorporated system, as you can see, which means every single little town is its own county. Newport News, Hampton, we got Pucasson, York, James City, Williamsburg should be among there too, Gloucester, and Matthews. This is the Hampton Road. Again, Biden plus 15. Trump should make inroads with it, so let's say this moves 5 points towards Trump as well. Now, once again, nothing is flipping. Virginia Beach is on the edge, as is Chesapeake, but nothing else has really flipped. Oh wait, James City has flipped. Then again, it's by 40 votes, so that doesn't really matter. So, now it's Biden plus 9. Next up, that is important. Well, we have the Middle Peninsula. Then again, it's just going from King William up towards Essex, and then this entire point. So that's Matthews, multi-shift. So Matthews, Middlesex, Gloucester, King and Queen, Essex, and King William. That's the Middle Peninsula, technically speaking. You might want to add Caroline to it as well, but here's the thing. It's Trump plus 30. If he really wants to win the state, he's got to rack up not only territories where he lost, but he's got to essentially make everything in the state as red as Western sorry, I almost want to say Pennsylvania, but it's actually Virginia here. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for. The region that is the most important is Nova, of course. So Loudoun, Fairfax, Arlington, Alexandria, and I'm gonna do this. Falls Church, Fairfax, come on, Falls Church, Manassas Park, Prince William, Stafford, Fredericksburg, Fauquier, Culpeper, Rappahannock, Clark, Warren, Frederick, Winchester, and I believe, looking at the map really quick, yes, Orange and Spotsylvania. So this is Biden plus 30. This used to be Bush territory, basically. So let's say Trump does, again, 5 points better in this particular region. Now you can see it's already Biden plus 7 in the state. Then we have, yeah, we can do Piedmont, but that is not really saying anything because it's going from Brunswick all the way up to Patrick and then all the way up north towards Loudoun, so this entire triangle. I mean, I can kind of show you what it is looking like in terms of vote. So that's really quickly. Just tag everything in there. Yes, those two. Dinwill's not a part of it. Powhatan is though. As is Goochland, Louisa, Spotsylvania. So all the way up here. The funny thing about this is technically R plus 5, this entire region. Now, if Trump were to win the state, you might want to say, okay, this entire region has to go plus 5 for Trump. But I just wanted to show you. Also, you have Shenandoah Valley. So that goes from Frederick all the way down to Beautor, adjacent to West Virginia. So I wanted to pick the towns in here as well, just to show you. I think it's going to be something in the range of R plus 35. So Trump plus 30 territory in the state of... Here you go. Trump plus 30.5. Let's say this entire thing moves 5 points towards Trump. It doesn't do much in terms of the entire vote of the state. Now it's a 6.7 victory for Biden. Southwest, I think, is also an important region to visit, because this is essentially what Trump territory looks like. But it also has a lot of population in there. So it's all the way from Roanoke all the way up to Kentucky, which in the 1800s used to be a part of Virginia. It's part of the Virginia territory, and then later on it was split up. So we have this, Buena Vista, yep, and then only Lexington. Come on, there you go. So Trump plus 35. So we still don't really have anything in terms of margin of victory. So what I want to do next is, okay, we reset the state. We're going to select everything. Increase the turnout by 12 points. Yes, that includes you, Franklin. So, I think I applied it twice. There you go. So, what will it look like in terms of a map that Trump could win? Okay, how about we take... let's go back to southwestern Virginia. So we take all of this. All the way up to Henry. Spotsylvania is not a part of it. Bedford is. We have Beautor. We have Allegheny. And I also have to do every single little town in here. This is why Virginia is kind of annoying due to their unincorporated structure. But let's say we have this. So this entire region, that's Trump plus 35. Let's put in the valley as well. So all the way up here. And as you can see, this is basically your safe red territory. This particular region has an overflow of about 280,000 votes for Trump. However, he needs 500,000. And that is something that is simply not achievable in this particular moment. Because you simply don't have the votes. You need 100% turnout, mandatory turnout basically, and you still don't get it. So you need to take that into account. So how about we add Piedmont as well. So now we're going all the way up to Brunswick. We include essentially everything up until Piedmont. Or Loudon, I wanted to say. So now we have this particular region. We have an overflow of about 270,000 votes. So technically speaking, the region is still not changed. Still Trump plus 15. It's just the only thing that's really changing it out is Nova, which flips the entire state to Biden. And then you have the greater Richmond area. So let's say this. Now you do physically have the votes in order to change it. But you're going to need about a 20-point shift. That simply won't happen. So let's say this entire region shifts 10 points to the right. There you go, Trump plus 25. You still have Biden winning by 7. In terms of vote share. Now, let's go for the rest of Nova. And we shift that to the right 10 points as well. So we have Fredericksburg, Manassas Park, Fairfax, Falls Church, if it wants to work, Alexandria. So this is an overflow for Biden for 500,000 votes. Let's shift 10 points to the right. Now it's an overflow of 400,000 votes. Now you can see it's actually a lean state. So now it's Biden plus 4. However, we're still not there. So how about we take everything from the Richmond area that hasn't been shifted yet. So that's Dinwiddie. I think this one is already shifted. Not yet. That's cool. Because I don't want to apply the shift twice. Richmond, Henrico, Charles City. Hanover is a part of it, and King William. So we have this. James City is not a part of it. Alright. So let's say this is an overflow for Biden for about 100,000 votes. Let's shift it so he has 60,000 votes. And you still have Biden plus 2. So you need a universal shift of 10 points to even get close. But I don't see this happening. So when it comes to the polling, I have not seen any way, shape, and form that there would be a 10-point shift per geographic region. I don't see that happening. So let's take this particular region as well. So the Hampton Roads. This one goes all the way up to James City, including Gloucester and Matthews. Let's shift this one 10 points to the right as well. Now we have Biden winning by just 50,000 votes. This is basically the edge that Trump can get if he switches essentially the entire state 10 points to the right. So let's do this one last time. But now we're just going to do this at the simplest way that I can imagine. So you take every single Republican county. And I'm going to double check this. And I'm going to show you that even if you switch all of those votes, let's say 20 points to the right, you're still not getting there. Buena Vista is Republican. Waynesboro is. What would this kind of shift entail? Well, it would entail that the 7th district, so that would be currently occupied by Abigail Spanberger. However, she's going to be running for the governor next year, the governor's seat next year, so that's going to be vacant. I think... No, I actually know that Vindman is going to win. And I really don't like that part, but whatever. So we have this entire section. Let's shift this point 10 points to the right. So we now have Trump winning every single Republican county by 40 points. You still have Biden winning by 7. So even if you were to say Trump wins 100% of the votes in these western counties, like Southern Democrat territory, where you have South Carolina going to Franklin Roosevelt by 99.9%. Even if you have those kind of margins, you still ain't winning. And I'll show you that. I should have just done that immediately, but whatever, right? Gotta pad out the time somehow. It's not that I'm getting ads for this shit. So Colonial Heights. I wish there was an easier way to do this, but whatever. Nelson, Amherst, Waynesboro. Rockbridge, I think Buena Vista was a part of it. Covington was definitely. Galax was a part of it. Norton was. So this is kind of annoying as a term of the structure for... was Galax? Yes, Galax was a part of it. So, let's say we do the dumbest thing possible and just make it 100% Republican vote. Right? Now, suddenly you see Trump winning the state by 500,000 votes. Now, is this going to happen? Obviously not. But the position in most of these states that are lean Democrat, you'll find that if Republicans somehow manage to get their base to turn out to ridiculous margins, they can win Virginia. However, it's going to be incredibly difficult, and in most cases, it's not really feasible. But that's just... I also needed to do the turnout deviation, so here you go. Franklin, by the way, you also need to go. And here's the funny part, right? So what happens if these kind of territories move towards the right? The extreme position would also be that, let's say, Nova minus the Republican counties. So this particular section, this would move towards the left. So let's say Biden wins this particular territory by 50 points. You still ain't getting there. How about Richmond? So we have Petersburg, we have Hopewell, we have Chesterfield, Richmond, Henrico, Charles City, and I think Sussex is a part of it. Let's say we move this 20 points to the left as well. Biden wins that particular side by 50 points. You still have a 2-point victory. So you can see that in the extreme examples, there is a chance for Republicans to win. However, it's extremely difficult. Which is why I'm also saying that there's a 95% chance of Virginia going to Biden. However, this is a video exploring what you have to do in order to get there. So, as a start, Trump needs to get the turnout in the Republican counties, so the west part. Basically everything west of Brunswick, and you go all the way up north to Loudoun. That particular region, you need to turn out as much as you can. And the entire region needs to shift I have a Bidenism there. You need to shift that territory by about 20 points to the right. At least. In order to even get there. In any other way, it would be a safe Biden victory. So, that's Virginia. I expect it in the election at the end of the day to be a Biden +7, Biden +8 state. There is some suburban reversal, mostly because of inflation and gas prices and that kind of stuff. But Biden, in the end, will still win because of Nova. That's just the way Virginia is. If I were a Virginia resident, I would say everything from Clark and Frederick all the way down towards the Kentucky border. You would just petition that to join West Virginia. That's what I would do if I was living in any of these counties. Because then at least you would get a government that represents you. Which is currently not the case in the state of Virginia. So, yeah. Thank you kindly for watching. Next state is going to be Minnesota. Thank you for watching. And see you next time. Cheers.